There are so many things that people spend money on for their appearance: haircuts or coiffure or skincare, fashion and clothing. And up to a point, people might even figuratively decorate their image with a certain motor car, when a cheaper, practical one would do just as well. Some of the expenses of the more frivolous kind are recurrent, and it adds up to a lot of money. I think that the economy would crash if people weren't so vain. I'm not saying any of this to denounce human folly and the sometimes exorbitant care that people put into their looks, but only to say that by comparison, the curation of muscle is rather cheap. Admittedly, not everyone is in the happy position that I enjoy, where there's an adequate park and a home gym to hand. If I didn't have that half power rack, I couldn't do my squats. I'd have to recede to goblet squats, which would mean doing a huge number of reps with a lighter weight. You could do the chin-ups and push-ups, but even with the chin-ups, you probably need to be close to a suitable park. And by the way, my park isn't wholly sympathetic because the pen with the bars is clearly conceived for children. And I get some suspicious looks, especially with the practice of filming my lifts for these videos. One mum told me not to include her son in the video recording that she could see was in train. Fair enough. It's an awkward space. I sympathise with anyone who invests in a gym membership, and they aren't cheap. Actually, the rate struck me as quite steep, but then I'd say the same about haircuts too. It's important with lifting to enjoy a level of comfort. If the weights are in a damp basement of a dusty, hot garage, I can imagine that it would be discouraging. But if you are able to sort out an adequate space without great compromises, the lifting habit is certainly very cheap. The equipment never perishes or wears out, and the fact that you've invested in it persuades you that you'd better get value out of it and use it. But that's also an argument for the commercial gym, by the way. I know that it costs, but in addition to access to good equipment, you're also buying a kind of pledge to yourself, a commitment in the form of wanting value for your outlay. And in all arrangements, whatever the cost, it's divided by lots of benefits, like enhanced strength, healthier connective tissue, robust bones, and all of that. I don't want to fiddle with the denominator, but I think that if it saves long-term injury or debility, it's worth spending on.